And hello and welcome everyone to your Tuesday edition of the Daily 8 here on the News 8 Live Desk. Phil Pinarski. Happy to be glad and with you again on this rainy election day. Hopefully everyone is safe and inside. As always, we do have 8 stories for you. Then we are, as always, and we're actually going to start with the top story of the day, and that also happens to be the weather, of course. Rain and wind have been pounding much of West Michigan this morning, and we even saw some tornado warnings get issued for parts of St. Joseph and Branch counties earlier this morning. There's also a great number of power outages, as one might expect with all of the bad weather we've seen like this. About 2,000 consumer energy customers are without power right now. We're going to be continuing to keep an eye on those numbers and let you know whenever we do expect power to be coming back on if we do hear from Consumers Energy. The rain is expected to subside by the afternoon, and we will have all of your full noon forecast actually coming up in just a little bit here on the Daily 8. And of course, all this bad weather comes on Election Day. There seems to be a bit of a trend happening recently with that. The polls are now open for the 2024 primary elections here in Michigan, and we will have extensive coverage coming up later today as we get set for the results to come in tonight when the polls do close. There are a lot of key state races that we're watching out for, like the race for Senator Debbie Stabenow's seat, but there are also some big elections happening right here in West Michigan, including the race for Ottawa County Board of Commissions. You can find real-time results on woodtv.com once the polls do close. Again, that is going to be happening at 8 p.m. tonight. And speaking of elections, Vice President Kamala Harris has selected her running mate as we get closer to November's presidential election. Sources say that Harris has picked Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to be her vice presidential candidate over other prominent names that were in the mix, including Josh Shapiro, the Pennsylvania governor, and Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. Walz has served as the governor of Minnesota since he was first elected back in 2018. Harris and Walz will now begin campaigning together starting tonight in Philadelphia, where the two are expected to make the announcement official. And switching gears now, as the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has recently approved a new blood test that could help screen people for colon cancer. This test is about 80% effective at detecting the cancer in patients, and while it wouldn't fully replace standard colonoscopies, the hope is to have it at least help with the numbers of total screenings per year and get those numbers up. The blood test would be administered every 3 years once you do turn 45, which is the recommended age for people to start screening for colon cancer, which is the second most common cancer amongst non-smoking patients. About 53,000 people died from colon cancer in 2024 alone. And now for some weather news, because we're not the only ones dealing with Mother Nature. The Hurricane Debbie, which is now Tropical Storm Debbie, is still making its way up the East Coast, but it brought significant wind gusts and floods to Florida, and even a little bit more. Law enforcement down in the Big Bend region of Florida say that the storm washed ashore about $1 million worth of cocaine on Monday. About 25 different packages filled with the drug appeared on the shore yesterday. Where the cocaine came from is still being investigated at this time, and we hope to have more information in the coming days. And tonight, on top of everything else that's happening today with the weather and elections, it is also a National Night Out, the annual celebration where first responders in the area and the community get together and enjoy some time outside. There are quite a few events happening all across West Michigan tonight, and we have a full list for you to find the perfect one over on our website, woodtv.com. We've broken them down by area to make it even easier for you to find one that you're really looking forward to. Hopefully the weather will clear up by then, and for more on that, we now send it over to Storm Teammate meteorologist Scott Larson with a look at your noon forecast.
A cold front carves through today, presenting a widespread chance of showers and storms. Looks like we'll receive between 1 and 3 inches of rain accumulation, with a burst of precipitation happening this morning, then dissipating into the afternoon today. So be prepared for that wet weather. As you head along and south of Interstate 94, that's where we have the greatest chance at seeing an isolated strong storm as well. A marginal risk of severe weather, as there could be a few damaging wind gusts embedded within those storms. So heavy rain, much cooler conditions today as we'll get a look at your high temperatures across the region. Traveling north, a high of 71 in White Cloud, 70 degrees Big Rapids, 71 in Greenville. Traveling further south, a high of 71 today in Grand Rapids, 73 in Allegan, and 71 degrees in Hastings. Meanwhile, as you approach the state line, looks like temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s, including 76 in Pawpaw, 75 degrees today in Schoolcraft. So noticeably cooler. It will become less humid also as we go through the coming days, with some more enjoyable weather coming soon.
All right, thanks, Scott. And we have one more story for everyone today. This is Alma Cooper. She just took home the crown as the Miss USA at the USA pageant over the weekend, representing the state of Michigan. But Cooper is more than just a pageant queen. She is also an active duty member of the United States Army. She's the first woman to hold the title of Miss USA and also be an active duty soldier. That's not all. She is currently working on getting her master's degree as well in statistics from Stanford University. You can get to know her a little bit better by checking out our story on woodtv.com. All right, well, that is going to do it for us and wrap up another edition of the Daily 8. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't worry, we'll be back again tomorrow with 8 more stories for your Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll see you there. It'll be the same time, same place. Once again, Phil Penarski here signing off, hoping you have a great rest of your day. Hopefully, you stay dry and safe out there.